What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Visions of the Force. My name is Kyle, your host. Welcome, guys, to Project Potter. This is our Disney Star Wars Visions review, guys. This is episode 5, so we are now more than halfway there. This one's called The Ninth Jedi. And guys, let me say that I am starting to love this show. They're hitting more home runs than they're striking out for me, 100%. If you guys haven't seen the show before, it is a very quick recap. It is a score out of 10. It is a favorite character and favorite aspect. Not in that order, but we're kicking it off here with the recap, guys. Like I said, this is the 5th episode out of 9. So again, different animation style for this one, but I love this one. Similar to last episode, this one feels the closest, I think, to a movie that I think any of them have felt so far. It was really awesome. This is also the longest episode so far at 22 minutes, but man, does it just breeze by. So we start this one off, guys. We find out that there is a kid who shows up to like this asteroid belt. There's like this really weird like grapple thing that's like is thrown in there, and I think it's like the daughter of the lightsaber smiths. Like they have these catapult things. I don't really know what they were doing. It's like they were fishing almost, but in space. It was kind of weird. But basically, there's like a really awesome shot of like this asteroid. At the end of the episode, we find out it looks like a lightsaber. The camera like flips, and there's like a laboratory there, and it's awesome. The top is open up there, but it's fine because this kid shows up, and he's like, "Hey, I've received this hologram," and he's like, "Are you guys masterless Jedis as well?" And they're like, "Yes, we all received the same hologram as you," and they all have the thing, and it plays the message. And it's kind of weird because it's like very obviously a trap from the beginning. Like we know what's going on, and it's like this guy, and it's basically he's saying, "Oh, you know, I'm trying to get the Jedi Order back together," because the narrator says at the beginning, like all the Jedi are gone. There's no lightsabers, but there's one guy who's collecting kyber crystals to kind of put the lightsabers together. And so this guy puts together a plan, and he's got a mask on, and he looks kind of like a villain. He looks kind of like Vader, but we're like, can we trust this guy? And he's like spinning. He's literally like, welcome, come to the planet now. And it's just like something is just off. You can tell there's a droid there, and he's showing up, and he's like, oh, okay. He's like, we have to wait for the lightsabers to come here, and we have to wait for the master. And they're like, how long are we supposed to wait? And he's like, it's okay. It's like, just keep waiting. These all look like good Jedi. We'll get more into that later. We cut to the planet. It's like a nearby planet or whatever, where you find this lightsaber smith, and he's building these lightsabers, and it's really cool. And he builds eight of them, I think. 7 or 8 or 9, I'm not really sure. Anyway, he builds a bunch of lightsabers, and he just finishes to put them together, and then his daughter comes through on a speeder bike, and she's like full of energy and charismatic, and then she gets the lightsaber, and she takes it out, and it's like, oh, sorry, the lightsmith takes the lightsaber, lights it up, it's blue, it looks like a standard lightsaber. Cool shit. He powers it down. She takes it. Hers is like almost like a dark saber, only it's green. It's like there's no color on it, and it's really long. And she's like, "Whoa, this one is really long." And he's like, "Actually, I did it so that the crystals adjust to the user." So he's like, depending on how they're connected to the Force, is how the sabers adjust. And I'm like, "Oh my god, that is the fucking coolest thing I've ever heard in my life, dude! Like, why have we never thought of that?" And so, super, super awesome. Basically, the saber itself, the hilt is going to be the same, but when the Jedi grabs it, the blade and the color is going to change based on their connection to the Force and whether they're good or evil and all that shit. It's so awesome, dude. So we get a ship coming down, and the guy knows it's trouble, and he's like, he wraps up the sabers in a pouch, and he gives it to his daughter, and he's like, "I need you to go." And he's like, "You know, I'm so proud of you." And she's like, "Why are you acting like this is the final time we're going to see each other?" And it's like very obvious that something bad is about to happen to this dude. So she goes out the back door, and then these like droids come in, and they have like the straw hats, and they look so awesome, and they're like, "Are you the sabersmith, this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, who's asking?" And they're like, "You have illegally forged lightsabers." He's like, they're like, "Hand over the sabers and come with us." And then he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about," or whatever. And he like, they go to shoot him, and he like deflects it into like the furnace, and it fucking blows up, and then he like gets kicked out. And the girl is like, "Father," and he's like, "Just run." And she goes, and there's this awesome speeder chase, dude, where they're going through, and it's like Endor, dude, where Luke and Leia were on the speeder bikes, and she's going on the ice. She's trying to outgun him at first, but the guy's shooting at him, or the droid's shooting at him. I don't know if it's a droid or if it's just a guy in a mask, but either way. he's shooting at her, and then she is like avoiding them, and then she turns around, she fucking ignites the saber, and she's deflecting all the things, and he's like, the force is strong with this child, and I'm like, oh my god, dude, say that one more time and give me more goosebumps. She gets off the bike, eventually she like jumps off, ignites the saber, dude, and then he's coming at her, he's shooting, she deflects everything, hits the bike, dude, and he goes down, but she doesn't kill him, but she's like, yo, like, come at me, bro. And it's cool because she's like standing there, and she puts the saber down, and then she like, her bike like fucking comes, she like summons it or whatever, and she just gets on and keeps going. I'm like, oh my god, that was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. So she goes to like a nearby droid station, like basically like a bus station, and we get a T droid, dude, which is so funny because this dude's sitting there. And he looks kind of like the droid from IG-88, looks kind of like that, but a little bit different. And clearly it's like they're like the bus driver version of Star Wars. Like they're you know, they're gonna drive someone there. And she's like, please, I need to go like bring these to the temple or whatever. And he's like, takes a sip or pours the tea in there, inhales, and goes, I'm on my break. And she's like, please, you have to go. And he's like, find someone else. And she looks down, and it's a whole bunch of like defective droids. It looks like they're like sleeping, but she's like, you're the only one functioning. It has to be you. And she's like, please take this. And she hands him like a gold coin, and he's like, okay. And then he starts walking super slowly, and she starts pushing him. She's like, go faster. It's really funny. And she gets in there. Also, guys, there's a swipe in this one. We haven't seen the classic Star Wars swipe, the transition. Super awesome. As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, let's go, dude. So it feels authentically Star Wars. They get in the ship, and then we cut back to the temple, and then this kid is like wondering what's going on, and they're like, hey, where is this master? And then what happens is that she shows up at the end, or kind of cutting ahead here, guys. She shows up with the droid, and they're like, something's coming. And she's like, oh my god, like I'm, you know, I've known Toro my whole life or whatever. I forget like the master's name. And she's like, but I'm here to bring you the sabers. She's like, please, like, can you help me save my father? And they're like, oh my god, a lightsaber. Because there is one that like Toro or whatever has, and it's really like elegant. In the kid, our first protagonist guy, picks up the lightsaber. And he's like, please, can I hold one? He's like, when I was born, the lightsabers have all been gone. So this kid's never held the lightsaber. And he ignites it, and it's blue. So we know he's a good guy. And he's like, whoa. And they're all like kind of looking at it in amazement, but they're also like, something's up. And then she hands over it. She undoes the lightsabers. They all take the lightsaber. She's like, please, let's save them. And then we get an outside shot, dude. And we get one of the coolest twists in Star Wars history, probably. They all ignite the lightsabers at the same time, and guess what, dude? They're all red. And these Jedi, great character design because they all look like good dudes, and they're all Sith. And they're like, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, what a twist. And she knows like right away. And it's so cool because they all picked up the sabers, and because they're all evil, obviously they're all connected to the Force, they all went up red. And I'm like, that's so fucking cool, dude. So they get in like a battle, and then it turns out that the master is actually in the droid. The droid opens up, and he like comes down, and I'm like, oh shit. And they're like, oh, you would hide in there. And then he ignites the lightsaber, and he's got a green saber. So this guy who we thought was like a villain or evil, or being like sketchy, he's actually the protagonist, and he's like this master Jedi, and he starts wrecking these Sith leaders, dude. He kills like 2 or 3 of them, and there's like one where like slices like the chest open. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cool. The girl gets her lightsaber out, and she said she didn't have like a blade, but like she has that dark greenish saber kind of vibe, and she's fighting everyone, and they say like she's really skilled with the lightsaber, so she's like doing her best to stand there. And then eventually they take pretty much all the Sith down, and then there's one dude with a purple lightsaber where he like is going to like attack the kid with the blue lightsaber, and then the master's like, that's enough. And he's like, we both know this isn't you. And he's like, you're right, I'm sorry. He's like, their hatred consumed me or whatever. And it's like, wow, dude, that's so cool that this is like a good Jedi, like a Mace Windu with a purple saber, but he's doing bad shit, or he got consumed by hate, similar to like Luke, and he's in fucking, what's it called? Return of the Jedi, because he got angry, and then like he decided to like act like a Sith. But it's like, no, dude, he's a good Jedi. It's so cool. But basically they're like, oh, come with us and rebuild the Jedi Order. And so there's a huge beam because he like one of the guys he fucking kicks into like the middle furnace or whatever, and it like he burns alive, and I was like, oh my god. But that like ends up lighting up like the beam or whatever, and so this like summons another ship, and then they all go in there. They're going to rebuild the Jedi Order and save her dad, and then like the camera they hyperspeed away. The music's playing. It's really cool, and then it turns over and it looks just like a lightsaber. So there's like a lightsaber sound I think that plays. But yeah, just a fucking awesome episode. Okay, guys, my favorite aspect for this one is the M. Night twist, dude. It's the M. Night twist where it's like they got me good because everyone looked like a good Jedi, and I was thinking like these are going to be a bunch of good Jedi. They're going to get things, and they're all going to team up, and they're going to take someone down. For them to take the lightsabers and all be Sith, I was like, holy shit, that's such an awesome idea. Because they're all like, I think there's one or two like robots or droids. Like one of them could go the wrong way. But for the most part, those characters are designed to look like your typical protagonist. And so I'm like, oh, these Jedis are going to team up and fight someone. And I'm like, no, dude, these are all Sith that set a trap. And I'm like, wow, that's so cool, dude. And like for the Master to go in disguise and like to take them down, it's so awesome. But they just took out like 7 Sith Lords or whatever. So that's awesome. But yeah, the sense of misdirection and the trickery there is my favorite part of this episode. Okay, guys, my favorite character, it's got to be the Lightsmith's daughter. She's awesome, dude. She was like immediately reminded me of like a Rey, except she's even probably more badass than a Rey because she's like charismatic and spunky and full of joy, but she's strong and independent. And it's like the fact that she handles her own, and then when that droid guy, whatever, says like, this child is strong with the Force, I'm like, oh my god, so cool. So yeah, she handles her own, she does the right thing, she's like, dude, I gotta get this done, and then they're like, come with us and be a Jedi Master, and I'm like, yes, dude, this is so cool. And once again, guys, Star Wars just doing awesome things with female protagonists, where they're like, let's build a strong, powerful female character, and it's like, not many franchises do that, and Star Wars has done it with success over and over and over again. So between Leia and Rey, and then this girl here, it's just awesome. So, but she was for sure my favorite character, and I feel like she could have fit in the universe in any story. Okay, guys, that brings us to a score. I'm not going to be giving out perfect 10s every time. This is close for me, but this is a 9.8. I freaking love this episode, dude. The couple of nitpicks I would say, the like pure Jedi guy that comes in, the first guy that we see, he felt kind of weird to me, and he didn't do much. So I guess he's like a young Padawan, or he's got to learn the ways. Like he said, he was masterless. But it was weird to kind of focus on him because the daughter was very clearly like the main protagonist. So like he didn't really feel like, I didn't feel like he was necessary in the story, but he is kind of innocent and like, oh, do you guys think this is a good message? Like I get why they put him in there. The score is freaking incredible, dude. There were so many big like pieces where I felt, like I said, like a movie. The transitions were in there. Just some of the shots were beautiful. Like this could easily work in live action too. This felt kind of like a Rogue One too. The family connection there with the Lightsmith, and then like them coming over and being like, you're making illegal lightsabers, and he's like, you know what, I like, reminded me of Rogue One at the beginning where they send Jin away, and it's like the father knows that like he did this for the greater good, and he's like, go deliver these lightsabers, and he trusts her to get the job done. And it's just like, even though he knows he's gonna die or get captured and maybe never see his daughter again, it's just like this is one of the ones where I want a follow-up story. I'm like, let's go save him, dude. Like I hope we come back to that in season 2, or if there's another episode or whatever. So yeah, one of my favorite ones, guys, for sure. This one was so awesome, and it's like visually it looked great, and I just loved the story in this. Like, and just the Master being in the droid, dude, where he like pops down, and then the reveal of them all being Siths, and the lightsabers changing and the blade length changing was so amazing, dude. Like that was so awesome. He has a line, I think the Lightsmith says, where like the Force is all in all living things, but like it's only when you forge a connection with the Force that you get like its powers or whatever, the blade. And I'm like, oh my god, dude, like all of these amazing ideas that we've never explored in the movies, and it's like finally we're getting like some stuff in here. Just incredible from start to finish. Like I said, very few things, just a couple things that hold it back from perfect 10, and I'm trying not to give out perfect 10s every score, but yeah, guys, I'm really like starting to love this series, and this was a fantastic episode. Okay, guys, that's it. That's an episode of Visions of the Force. So thanks for checking out Project Potter, guys. Thanks for checking out the channel. Hope you guys like the content. Hope these are entertaining enough, guys, and I hope you're watching Star Wars Visions, because if not, you should be, because this is unlike What If, where I feel like Marvel's What If is kind of like inconsequential and this is kind of weird. This to me is like, this is must watch for Star Wars fans, I would say. Even if you're just kind of remotely interested, the animation alone is beautiful, and I love that we've had a new studio every single time. They've just been crushing it like the last couple ones. So with that being said, guys, thanks for checking out Project Potter. And until next week, guys, may the Force be with you.